Oh, this baby escalated rather quickly. So, just a little recap for you brute force fans out there. This thing started out as a left front half shaft seal leak in the front differential. So when I pulled that apart, had a bad tie rod end. It was loose in the spindle where it bolts up. Thought I could just tighten it up. Ended up stripping the threads off of it because it was seized up. So went ahead and took that apart. Got the left front seal fixed. Pulled the half shaft out, replaced it, put it all back together. Did the front diff flush while I was up there, just rotella, pretty easy to do. Noticed the brake pads were shot, so ordered some brake pads, put some new brake pads on it. Went to start it back up. Noticed it had a little more than before it had just kind of a little noise when you would crank it. Almost like, maybe the starter was acting up, but come to find out, it wasn't the starter. It was the starter reduction gear, which is common for these. This is a 2012, so it has the better actual drive gear, but the little reduction gear there didn't fare so well. Everything else looks good. I'm actually waiting on a flywheel puller to yank that bad boy off. Then I can pop that little reduction gear out, or limiter gear that they call it. Put the new one in. All my chains look good. No issues with my guides or my tensioners. I looked at them the other night. The gear itself doesn't look bad. One-way clutch is still good. So, checking that crank bearing. I mean, as long as you can't move the flywheel up and down or get any in and out thrust, that left side bushing is still intact. A couple other things I'm going to do while I'm in here. You have to pull the water pump, which is right here. Goes in this part of the case. So bad boy. You spin it right off. Counterclockwise. You just touch it with the impact and it spins her free usually. The mechanical seal that's in the water pump, I will be replacing. You could probably get by with reusing it, but I'm not going to. It's that little guy right there. So it was like 24 bucks for the kit from Kawasaki for the mechanical seal and the gasket, which I need to put new gaskets on it anyway when it goes back together. Pretty straightforward. Why wouldn't you do it while you're here? So yeah, there's the new seal that this all started with. While I've got it apart, I'm going to put plugs in it. And I'm also going to run the valves. If you've never done that before, this is your rear cylinder right here. Pretty easy to get to. Front cylinder, you got to take the air box out. Some guys take like the whole front body work off and everything. That just seems more involved than needs to be. You do have to take this left side footwell off. Real easy. Pop that baby off. Pulling that cover off was easier than I expected it to be. You do have to kind of work the water pump a little bit. Don't just yank it off there. Kind of got to feel that water pump seal slide off there. Oh, I forgot. It did tear up the starter when it ripped those teeth off. So if you put one back together and your starter looks like that and the teeth are kind of sharp, just do yourself a favor and put a new starter on it with it. I actually went a little cheaper on this one. I didn't buy the $60 straight from China starter. I bought a OEM takeoff from a 2018. The only difference is the terminal is on the back instead of on the side, and there's two bolts that run down the body of this thing, but they fit up exactly the same, bolt up the same, so save yourself a little money. eBay's handy for that. So yeah, here pretty soon this thing should be back together and be better than it was. Oh yeah, I forgot the CVT belt. This is a 2012. Still has the original belt on it, or had the original belt on it. You can pop that cover off without too much trouble. You don't have to take the footwell off, just take those bolts out and she'll pop right off there. Walking that belt off or rolling that belt off is kind of tricky. You can pinch your fingers really easy. Right up in here is a nice little pinch point for your finger when you're trying to roll that belt off, and obviously between the pulley and the belt itself. So just take your time, be careful with that. I used a screwdriver inside the primary basket to kind of help me roll it so I could keep my hands out of the way. Technically, I think you're supposed to pull the primary, take that bolt out, get the primary removal tool, and then you can re-shim the primary, so you have like the right amount of free deflection, they call it, so the four-wheeler won't try to drive in neutral. I'm going to go with this one just the way it is. Hopefully the new belt is not too short, but we'll figure that out. If it is, it's easy to pop that basket off. You just have to buy the good tool. Don't buy the Chinese one. A couple other things I'm going to do while I'm here is I'm going to get rid of that engine braking solenoid. The solenoid itself will stay on the case because I don't want to make a new plate to cover that up and put the relay in to bypass it. So I'm just going to disassemble the guts. Basically, take that thing off the top, pull the snap ring out, and that whole assembly comes out the top of the case. You don't have to run with it. It's just engine braking. When you let off the throttle, it'll kind of help slow you down without getting on the brakes. So that's going to get eliminated. Yeah. So we'll give a little recap once this thing gets closer to going back together. One tip I would say, if this is the first time you're pulling this box off, mine had 2 broken bolts, one in the bottom from previous whoever worked on it, and then I snapped this one off because it was, I mean, I tried it back and forth, shot a little croil on it, nothing. You can't really get croil to it very well because that hole in the back is not really an opening, it's just a little bitty hole. So I'm going to try to drill it, and if I don't get it, oh well. So yeah, if you're going to mud bog these things and put them in water all the time, you want to make sure that thing stays sealed up good and tight. I don't do that to this one, so I'm not too worried about it. But you don't want mud and water getting in your primary basket because that'll just lead to the belt smoking itself that much faster. So anyway, that's what you got. Turned into quite an involved job when I thought it was just going to be a simple seal replacement. So we're going to knock it out.